Breaking news. Political tension have erupted in South Africa.
The impeachment process must kick in with immediate effect, and that's what we're going to demand.
Following a major constitutional court ruling linked to the controversial Phala Phala scandal involving President Cyril Ramaphosa.
The presidency has noted the judgment of the Constitutional Court in the case brought by the economic freedom fighters. President Ramaphosa respects the Constitutional Court's judgment and reaffirms his commitment to the Constitution. President Ramaphosa maintains that no person is above the law.
The EFF freedom fighter, widely known as EFF, has intensified call for President Ramaphosa to step down after the court found that Parliament fell in its constitutional responsibility during the handling of the Phala Phala matter.
It is declared that the vote of the National Assembly taken on 13 December 2022, declining to refer the report of the independent panel to an impeachment committee as envisaged in the NA rules, is inconsistent with the Constitution, invalid, and it is set aside.
The Phala Phala controversy first gained national attention after allegations emerged that a large amount of uncleared foreign currency was stolen from President Ramaphosa Phala Phala farm in Limpopo.
President wrote a letter. The people who work with him, the people who typed his speech, told me it's done, Chief. We're done. We're just waiting for the time to call a press conference. It's done. Until a faction went to persuade him the same day not to resign. His conscience has concluded that he doesn't have what it takes to be a president. The body might be there. The guy is gone. He wrote, Cyril, if we're to conduct the raid now in his offices or homes, we're going to find a resignation letter.
Questions were later raised about how the incident was handled, including whether proper legal procedures were followed and whether Parliament conducted adequate oversight concerning that matter.
Dlamini Zuma, NC.
As a disciplined member of the ANC, I vote yes.
Order, honorable members. Order. Order, honorable members. Please. Order, honorable members, please.
In the last development, the Constitution Court ruled that Parliament did not properly carry out its constitutional obligation when dealing with the independent panel report connected to scandal. The judgment has now fueled political pressure on the president and resonated public debate around accountability and transparency in government. Speaking after the ruling, EFF leader described the court decision as a major victory, urging that it confirmed long-standing concern about Parliament's handling of the matter. The party says the ruling exposes failure within the government system and strengthens demand for President Ramaphosa to resign. In the African Congress, however, has continued to defend the president, maintaining that Ramaphosa has not been found guilty of criminal wrongdoing.
And let's see the end of the DA, which was with us when we were saying let's impeach. Now that they're eating bananas and apples, let's see if they will be able to talk with a full mouth.
But supporters of the president urge that political opponents are attempting to use the scandal to weaken his leadership ahead of future political battle within the country.
The conclusion is this: the effect of the three judgments is as follows. This court, A, unanimously finds that it has of Rule 129I. B, by a majority, finds that it does not have exclusive jurisdiction in respect of the challenge to the NA vote. C, by a majority, concludes that Rule 129I is inconsistent with the Constitution and invalid. D, by a majority, concludes that the NA vote is inconsistent with the Constitution and invalid. And E, by a majority, concludes that the report must be referred to the impeachment committee. As such, the following order is made. 1, this court has exclusive jurisdiction to hear the application with respect to the challenge to Rule 129I. 2, it is declared that Rule 129I of the 9th edition of the Rules of the National Assembly, the NA rules, is inconsistent with the Constitution. 6, it is declared that the vote of the National Assembly taken on 13 December 2022, declining to refer the report of the independent panel to an impeachment committee as envisaged in the NA rules, is inconsistent with the Constitution, invalid, and it is set aside. 7, the report of the independent panel is referred to the impeachment committee established in terms of the NA rules. 8, the first to fourth respondents are ordered to pay the costs of the first applicant, including cost of to counsel, where applicable. I hand down the judgment.
Political analysts says the ruling could have significant implications for South African political landscape, especially as opposition parties increase pressure on the ANC government over issue of government corruption and institutional accountability.
I have said and admitted that there was a theft at the farm, and I reported that to a general of the South African police, who later informed me that he's also reported it to another general of the South African police. That matter, obviously, is under processing within the police service. They are dealing with it. I deny that there was any form of money laundering. I have said, and I've said it more publicly, that it was proceeds of sale of game.
Order, Kaloku, order. Order, honorable members, order. Order, honorable members, will you please listen? Proceed, Mr. President.
I have been a cattle farmer and a game farmer for a number of years, a matter that I have disclosed in my disclosures here in Parliament, as well as to the Secretary of the Cabinet.
Meanwhile, reaction across social media remains divided. Some South Africans believe the ruling highlights the need to stronger oversight and transparency, while others see the controversy as part of broader political maneuvering ahead of upcoming election and international party contests. For now, the Phala Phala issue remains one of the most closest watched political controversy in South Africa, with further legal and political development expected in the coming weeks.
Where Parliament has just concluded its business of the day, discussed and voted on the Section 89 independent panel report into President Ramaphosa's Phala Phala farm scandal. And we are now joined for this broadcast by DA leader John Steenhuisen. John, what is your immediate reaction to what transpired in the House earlier?
Well, obviously disappointing that once again our parliament is being broken to protect the actions of a single man. And this, I think what has happened today is that myth of ANC renewal and new dawn has finally been shattered. This is the same old ANC using the same old tactics to protect a president who's got some very serious questions to answer. And I think those MPs that voted against this report proceeding are going to be recorded in history in the same shameful way that all of those MPs who defended and protected Jacob Zuma and his henchmen during the 9 years of his government are going to be recorded. I think it's a shame, but the fight continues, and the president thinks that we're drawing a line under this today and moving forward. He's got another thing coming.
The ANC must reflect on this judgment, and one of the things I just do want to emphasize for the purposes of the people of our country and the viewers of the public broadcaster is that the ANC has always been at the center of advocating for support for the rule of law, support for our constitution and the Bill of Rights. And at this point in history, we're not going to back down on that. We are going to respect the judgment, we're going to study the judgment, and we are going to do amends where we need to do amends.
Sinao Tambo is the spokesperson, national spokesperson of the EFF.
It's a matter of accountability, because we wanted it to be made sure that rationality is not trumped by majoritarianism, which is what happened in the Parliament of South Africa, where the mandate of Parliament to hold the executive accountable was undermined by the African National Congress utilizing its parliamentary majority. No meaningful interrogation or interaction with Justice Sandile Ngcobo's report, which said that there's prima facie evidence that something wrong happened at Phala Phala Farm. They simply threatened their members, some with removal. We saw Gwede Mantashe, and of course ultimately the ANC voted in its majority to suppress the constitutional obligation of Parliament to hold the executive accountable.
A test. Let them choose crime over the Constitution. We will choose the Constitution. We chose the Constitution. Even if we walked alone, it doesn't matter. We've always been on the right side of the law. And this will be written in the books of history that twice this party in less than 13 years has always come to hold the president and the executive and parliament, for that matter, accountable before this constitutional court.
We told you from the beginning that you cannot use the majority to suppress corruption. The panel found that there was a prima facie evidence that the president must be referred to the impeachment process, where a transparent process will be canvassed for the voter to make a decision whether this is worth being our president or not. And even if the impeachment says the president must be removed, then that's where the vote comes in. The vote cannot come before the facts are canvassed publicly, especially if there is a serious prima facie evidence referred to impeachment process by the panel. We are very happy today our constitution has won in this constitutional court, and it is very unfortunate for those other judges who wanted to defend an individual and then use the majority to suppress rationality. We can never allow a situation where the majority is used to suppress rationality.
Parliamentarians are lawmakers.
What do you do? The clowns that call themselves the majority. That's what happens. You have a situation where people refuse to think. People refuse to reason. I mean, the same occurred when we're debating that. They wanted to take a vote because that's what they're used to. And when they were being taken through the law, they refused to listen to the law.
What do you think? Do you think that what has happened in the courts today, that the court ruling in the favor of the EFF and blaming the parliament by not following their constitution is right? Let's hear from you on the comment section. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that we can notify you when next we'll come with another video. Let's discuss on the comment section. Remain blessed, remain safe wherever you are. I will see you on the next video. Of course, we are following this very particular case on, and we assure you we keep bringing you updates. Please subscribe now so that you will not miss out. God bless you and remain safe wherever you are. Bye.